42 on your Monday. Big changes coming for small business owners. On Friday, President Trump signed a new version of the Paycheck Protection Program, now known as the PPP Flexibility Act. So this new bill reshapes the forgivable loans created back in March as the coronavirus forced a lot of businesses to shut down and lay off workers. And the new bill allows businesses to qualify for loan forgiveness up to $10 million if they meet certain criteria. So to help break down what this all means for business owners out there, CPA and author Tom Wheelwright joining us this morning. Tom, good morning to you. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
What criteria, first of all, are we talking about in general?
So the question is, how are you spending the money? And under this new bill, you have to spend at least 60% of the money on payroll. If you don't, it appears that none of it will be forgiven. So very important that you're spending a good portion of the money on payroll, not just on rent.
Yeah, that makes sense, because before, a lot of the businesses were saying, why do I have to spend 75% on payroll when my business is closed down to begin with?
No, that's exactly right. The challenge is you were expecting people to use this money for payroll, and you weren't even allowed to open up. So what's also important on this bill is that now we have, instead of 8 weeks, we have 24 weeks. So I would expect most businesses, as long as you're able to open it all, you should be able to get relief on your payroll protection program money.
And the deadline to rehire, that still hasn't been determined, has it?
So that's an interesting question, is do you still have to rehire by June 30th? Can you wait? Do you have to have rehired by December 31st? We're still looking at, we're still waiting for regulations and looking for how this bill is going to be interpreted by Treasury and the SBA. But in the meantime, the good news is we have a minimum of 24 weeks to use the money. And
what about payroll taxes? Can you defer those?
You can. So one of the other changes in this bill was in the previous bill, if you had PPP money, you could not defer your payroll taxes. Under this bill, you can do both. So you can both get the PPP forgiveness and defer your payroll taxes, some payroll taxes.
Will the loans be forgivable?
Well, the payroll tax is not forgivable. The payroll tax is a deferral, but the PPP loans will absolutely be are forgivable. You know, the other thing we're seeing is a lot of the EIDL loans. This is these emergency loans. They're coming through. They're not forgivable, but you have 30 years to pay those. So a lot of businesses are starting to see that money too.
You know, before, a lot of businesses, they had a lot of questions about this whole thing. What do you expect this time around?
I think there are going to be just as many questions. It's just not as pressing to get the answers, because you're going to have, again, 24 weeks really to wait for Treasury, the SBA, to give us more rules, which I'm sure they will. And in the meantime, we can go about business as usual and not worry too much about, are we going to be able to use that money? I think we're going to be able to use that money. The question is, are we going to be able to rehire the employees and meet those other tests?
Well, Tom, thank you for your time. Hopefully it will help out businesses out there, especially those that need it.
I certainly think it will. Yeah. Thank you.